Also, right now, President Trump personally involved in ongoing talks with Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. At the same time, Iran's foreign minister is urging Muslim nations to unite against the outsiders. Chief international correspondent Steve Harrigan is live in Tel Aviv, Israel, with the very latest. Hi, Steve.
Aisha, President Trump has been citing progress in those negotiations to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, also stressing his own personal involvement in those talks. From Iran, more mixed messages on their progress. Some hardliners making extreme demands they say must be met before any deal is made. Some commentators say even if Iran does sign a deal, they may not uphold what they sign.
There is, I understand, some concern that Iran is trying to play loosey with the football here because their real objective is to drag this out as long as they can into the midterms. But what it really comes down to is the fact that President Trump could inflict tremendous damage on Iran if he decides to.
A key sticking point will be control over the Strait of Hormuz. How much leverage could Iran have, both in controlling the type of ships that pass through and possibly leveling fees or transit payments on those ships? That's something the U.S. has rejected. Also, the U.S. having a naval blockade over Iran's ports as leverage in those talks. Finally, the Treasury Department instituting some new sanctions. These sanctions will target Iran's banking system. Aisha, back to you.
Okay, Steve Harrigan live for us. Steve, thank you very much. For more, let's bring in former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Secretary, good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning. Great to be with you this morning.
I want to play a quick soundbite for you. This is from Vice President J.D. Vance just about an hour or so ago with Kayleigh McEnany, giving us an update on the Iran conflict. Let's listen.
I try to remind people that we're really in the middle of the game here. This thing is not over. It's obviously not at the beginning. We're in the middle of the game, and we're applying a whole host of tools, diplomatic, economic, military tools, to ensure that we get the best outcome for the American people. I feel quite confident we will get there, but we're still a bit in the middle of the game.
Okay, Secretary, what do you think when you hear that, when he says we're still in the middle of the game and we're 6 months in?
Aisha, I think what he's saying is that, look, there's no clear path. I've heard the administration talk about this. It's very difficult. They're not even sure exactly who it is they're speaking for or who can speak on behalf of Iran today. And that makes these negotiations near impossible. It's why continuing the blockade, you saw the increase in sanctions. I think that makes enormous sense. There is no doubt the Iranian regime is weaker today than it was 2 months ago or 4 months ago, but not weak enough yet to capitulate, which in the end, Aisha, that's what's going to happen. It's not the case that there's going to be a piece of paper that is going to solve this thing. Well, these are not counterparties like we think of in the Western world. These are theocratic thugs with an ideology that extends far beyond any business deal.
Yeah, they're really hard to deal with, and the president's definitely said that repeatedly. You know, General Jack Keane was on this morning, and he seemed to imply that the objectives have changed in this conflict with Iran. The primary objective went from military as a priority to now diplomatic and political and economic, and he's wondering if it's even possible for a way to achieve all of those goals. Do you think it's possible?
I absolutely do, and I think General Keene's got it right. There's every reason to believe that President Trump's effort to make this a diplomatically resolved deal is the right approach. But my experience here with the Iranians suggests strongly that there's going to be more military activity. They can't help themselves. They've killed Americans for decades. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to believe that they're going to turn over a new leaf. When the vice president this morning said that they is so deeply entrenched, there's no such thing as an Iranian moderate. So I think General Keane has it right. The economic pressure and the military pressure will have to continue. And at some point, the Iranian people, right, they killed 40,000 of them just a few months ago. The Iranian people will have the opportunity that they so desperately deserve, and that will create the opportunity for stability in the Middle East as well, which is a great thing for the American people.
Well, let me dig into that thought, because you're saying that the way out of this truly is to give the Iranian people a chance to stand up and fight for themselves. It's not to deal with these people that are in leadership right now. I mean, the question I think on the minds of a lot of Americans is, we continue to talk to the leaders in Iran, whoever they may be, but it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere. So can there be a point in the future where we make them cave, or do we need to turn to the Iranian people?
I think we need to do both. I think they're actually, I think you've got it exactly right. These are simultaneous efforts, and I'm confident that President Trump and the administration are actually engaged in both. You don't see the one; it's quieter, but I am very confident there's lots of activity being done by ourselves and our allies in the region to give the Iranian people the space and the resources that they need. But you've got to take down more IRGC power. So long as they can go kill thousands of people in the streets, it's impossible. But we should be working in each of those directions to get the outcomes that the American people deserve, given all the effort that we've expended here.
Okay, let me finish with this here. The president has been dismissing any munitions concerns. There were a lot of reporting in the last week or so about some of our defense stockpiles, whether it was the THAADs or the Patriots, dwindling, that we were running out of them. We wouldn't be able to replenish them for quite some time. This is the president here pushing back on those reports about our defense stockpiles. Let's listen.
Our defense companies are building more plants right now than at any point in history. They're building plants for the Patriots, for the Tomahawks, for everything. But we have certain types of munitions which are they may not be as accurate. They may not be, they're not as elite. We have elite too, but we're watching that very closely. But we have certain types which are very powerful and very good, and we have an unlimited supply.
The president is also, Secretary, downplaying any involvement, any help Iran is getting from perhaps Russia or China. Why wouldn't they want to help? Wouldn't this help Putin out greatly if he could keep us busy with the Strait of Hormuz while he advanced in Ukraine, maybe elsewhere?
Absolutely. Let me take these two questions first. Never underestimate the American people's capacity to build weapons when the United States' interests matter. So I'm with President Trump. I'm very confident we will deliver the capabilities that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines need to execute their mission. As for the Chinese and the Russians, I think the president underplays this. I think the Chinese and the Russians are actively engaged in supporting this regime. They've talked about lifelong partnerships with each other. I think their ties are deep. I think the Russians are providing intelligence. I think the Chinese are providing if not full weapon system, the guts for weapons, the software for these weapons. They have a deep interest in undermining